Hello creatives, my name is Tyler Zachary Carranco, fashion designer and entrepreneur. Welcome to the House of TZC, where we're building better fashion businesses together. I'm back. Can you be considered back if you were never really there in the first place? I am back here with a vengeance to start my clothing brand officially this time. This video is just going to be a reintroduction, number one, just like I promised in that first video, which you can watch here. I promised to highlight all of the pitfalls, mistakes, and roadblocks that you hit as an entrepreneur, and I definitely hit one with this whole YouTube journey. This video is going to highlight that mistake and talk about my new plan for releasing this fashion business and getting it out to you guys. So here we go. The first thing we're going to do is take a look back over this eventful year that was 2022. And I guess partly 2021. In November of 2021, specifically on Thanksgiving Day, my husband and I, who have been together now for 10 years, almost 11 years in January, we decided to finally get married. And we had been putting it off since 2019 when we originally talked about getting married and told my parents that we were going to in 2020, but the world ended. It was always our dream to get married in a place like Thailand or China or Japan. So despite COVID restrictions, we booked a trip to Thailand, but there was a lot of issues with that. We literally only had 3 months to plan an entire international trip for 3 weeks and to figure all that out with all the restrictions, and it was extremely difficult. As we're doing that, and my YouTube channel is slowly starting to teeter off because I didn't have time to edit videos, didn't have time to film or script or research, we got a new puppy. This is Luca. Say hi, Luca. I'm sorry. Training him was a hassle. We were so busy trying to teach him to go to the bathroom outside, and it was cold outside, and we were also trying to bring in a new puppy to our life, and we had only had our other dog, Sully, for 10 years. We got him the year that we got together, and we were trying to make things work, learning what it was like to have a new dynamic with a new dog and working and figuring out our lifestyle beyond just being home to take care of a new puppy, which is very difficult. Then, as time grew closer to our leaving of our wedding date, Thailand shut its borders, so we were not able to get into the country. We'd already spent all this money and booked all these COVID tests and everything. And then the day that we were supposed to leave, they reopened borders and we were able to apply to get a Thailand pass and then be able to go. So that was a whole journey and experience in itself. Unfortunately, like halfway through our trip, our other dog, Sully, he passed away. And that was extremely devastating because he was our best friend and he was our child and we had taken care of him his whole life, and it was extremely sad to, get this new puppy and then also lose a puppy simultaneously and be experiencing one of the things that's supposed to be like one of the best moments in your life. And unfortunately, you experience one of the worst things that could possibly happen to you. That was a huge heartbreak for Sheldon and I. But we come back and then we start dealing with the stress of like coming back to reality and having to deal with that. And it was very difficult and it put me into an extreme depression. And I mean, at this point, YouTube was so far back burner that I wasn't even thinking about starting again. I was not thinking about a new video. I was not thinking about even beginning that. I wasn't doing anything related to fashion. I was just going to work, coming home, dealing with my anxiety and stress, and then doing that over and over and over again. Then by June or July, I got this really exciting opportunity. Well, I guess exciting at the time, but also maybe a little not. I was a little worried about how it may come across, and I still am, so I'll explain all of that. But essentially, I decided to partner with SHEIN and do a collaboration with them, create a collection, a 15-look collection for them. Mostly that came out of the fact that I felt like I hadn't done anything for fashion since I left my job in the fashion industry, and I was like, I need to do something related to fashion. I actually have an entire 4-part video series that's coming later in January and then into February, talking about the collection itself and then sales and profits, as well as what that process actually looked like, and then just like my overall thoughts on working with SHEIN and my overall thoughts of them as a company. So that'll come later, but I was dedicating a fair amount of my time on or at least my time off from my day job doing that. And it was kind of consuming me from doing all the stuff that I needed to do, which was this, YouTube and marketing and figuring out how I'm gonna release my own fashion brand outside of that. So I thought maybe that SHEIN collection and this collection could coincide. It was all a jumble in my head of how to actually make it happen. It was also compounding the depression in a way because it was like, okay, I have no idea how to make all of these things line up perfectly so that I can do what I want to do. And I was putting myself on other people's timeline. And beyond that, I was trying really hard to separate my reality, which is I don't have the money that I need to start this brand. I don't have the time that I need to start this brand, with like my dreams, which are, you know, so huge and so expansive that it's like, I know I can achieve this, but how do I get there? So that is when I went back to the drawing board and I decided to try and figure out what went wrong with my channel before. The biggest issue was that I did not understand or have a concept of how long it takes to research, script, film, edit, post a YouTube video. Granted, I had never done it before, so it was taking me weeks. I had also kind of created a concept for my YouTube, which was more education based. So I was talking more about fashion schools or fashion education, like that stuff that I had started with. It was not actually getting me creating any garments. It was not getting me on the steps forward to making a collection. I had the wrong scope of what I needed to do, and instead of being a fashion educator, which I hope one day I am, but that is not where I'm at now, that I'm here actually to start creating collections and showing you my process in hopes that maybe you can learn something from how I'm doing it and maybe pick up on little pieces that you like or pieces that may help you in your creating of a collection and figure out how to then hone those skills for yourself. I guess that kind of takes me into my new plan for the future. Starting with my goal and objective. Number one, like I said, is documenting my process, documenting the designing, the making, the production, everything related to this first solo collection and every collection beyond that. Just exploring the obstacles and successes and what it's like to be an entrepreneur, especially one in this digital age and this age where the fashion industry is facing an uphill battle of being more sustainable, being more ethical, and finding new opportunities for growth. I'm going to say right now, and it's important to make this stick, that everything I said in that first video is still going to take place. This channel will remain a space where I am building a community, not only for my brand, TZC, but House of TZC is ultimately a community of like-minded individuals, people who are coming together to start a fashion business, to start learning how to design, to start figuring out how to move our dreams from being dreams to being our realities. In closing, next week, I'm going to be jumping right into talking about that first collection. We're going to do everything in this process, all the way from the beginning of the design process, all the way to selling it to customers. I'm going to give you the title now. I've decided to call it Tell It to the Bees. This collection talks about not only human emotion and the concept of being overwhelmed by something, but also about slow decay and the secrets that we whisper to the bees. So I guess I'll see you in the next video. Sweet dreams, creatives.